Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. As the sun is just about to rise, I believe we should see it over there on the mountains, cresting and shining at the top of the hills before it crests the ridgeline there. But I've done a lot of work on the base in between to get it all suitable and ready to do some work. We got our solar panels just ready to rotate to meet the sun, but let us do a little bit of a walkthrough. Although this one will be a little dark because my script I have to rotate the panels also turns off my lights when the sun comes up. And I need to add some more windows. But that'll be the future. What we can see here, we've got our hangar all made up. We got all sorts of conveyors to all the turrets on the roof. The rover is placed against the piston with the connector, ready to be parked. We come into the main area here. We've got our command seat where we can see everything. And our refineries running full bore 24/7 as we're getting enough power with our 3 panels and with everything being on power reduction modules that we have essentially for our purposes right now infinite power. So that's all we really need there, which is wonderful. We've got a huge bank of batteries. Most of them are around 40 something percent, while the newer ones are around 25% as they are recharging. The panels haven't gotten full sun yet, so it's recharging in 14 hours, but that should probably go down to more like I don't know, 6 or so when the sun comes up. Ooh, there, it's just starting to come up on the ridgeline over there. But yeah, everything is in place, everything is built, and this will house us for the foreseeable future, as the next thing we need to do is build several ships. We've got our mining ship here, which has its docking collar, and I rearranged where the sorters are so that that one and the one for the rover down there are the ones that are getting sorted out. So if I land there, everything will just get pulled out of my inventory. So I make sure I don't land like my fighter ship there, as all of its ammo will be taken out of it. But here and here are 2 other landing spots. This one is a little narrow because we got the stairs right here, so I'm probably going to put a nice narrow fast fighter, and this one is a little bit larger, and I'm probably going to put a exploratory vessel, something with pure hydrogen most likely, as I do have that hydrogen mod to make it so that hydrogen is a little bit cheaper to run. What is this, some random components? Just some random interior plate lying on the ground outside. I don't know how that got there, but it did. But yes, we're going to build ourselves today a new ship. We've got our welder, we've got our miner. The next thing we want to do is to build a exploratory vessel that'll be able to take us out into space and get us some stuff out there. So first up is the cockpit, then we need the H2O2 generator because we're going to do this with hydrogen. We need landing gear as well. We'll put that on 9, as we'll remove that as soon as we place one. What else do we need? We need a cargo container, medium cargo container, and a conveyor, and we'll just use that for now. And then we will get our stuff in the future. All our stuff here. Interior plates, let's just grab enough stuff to make a few cargo containers, and then some stuff to make several armor blocks, and that should be enough basic materials to lay out the design, and then we'll off-camera weld it all up. Oh, yes. Oh, solar panels. Look at them turn to the sun. Oh, it's glorious. The base does get in the way a little bit, but overall, it's fine. It makes more than enough power than what we need right now. All right, small ship. Drop that so we get a nice position to work off of. Bring this up so we can get to the underneath, and we'll start putting things down. So On the cockpit, you can see it's got those two conveyor ports on the back of it. So what we're going to do is, just so happens to... Ooh, geez. What is that thing? A Spirit of Le Monde. Don't come near me, please. I mean, I do have my turrets, but don't come near me. You can see that the O2H2 generator also has those. So if we spin this around, we can plug it in. And now the cockpit will have oxygen, which means I can be in the cockpit in space and not use my suit's oxygen, which is very important. From there, what I want to do is we're going to do a conveyor junction. And we're going to set this up so we've got the, I think, yeah, that way. Boom. So this is giving the large sides all around the side here, which matches up to the H2O2, which allows that hydrogen from it to come back into the ship further, which is what we want. Now I want this thing to be a hauler, and it's going to have tons to haul, so we are going to go with 2 medium cargo containers, 1 on each side of this. And then we have to start. We have to drop that, drop that, drop that, and drop that as we are done with them. And also we'll replace where the conveyor tube is. Actually, don't even think I need the large conveyor tube anymore. It's all going to be small conveyor tubes. We'll grab the small conveyor tube. We'll grab hydrogen, both the thrusters and the tank. And we'll grab batteries. And we'll grab gyros. That's what we'll need to finish off the design. Hydrogen tank. Hydrogen tank small, I disagree with that. That is not a small hydrogen tank. Oh my god, that ship is beautiful. I just want to pop into spectator cam here for a quick second. Where am I? Oh, I was way over here. Okay. Oh man. Tis a beautiful ship. Oh, I wish I could salvage this thing. I want it. I just want to take it over. But if I tried to go and fly up to this ship right now, it would just rip me to shreds. There's so much good stuff on there that I could want, and I will get in the future. I will salvage wonderful ships in the future. But, okay, back to building. We're going to slap that hydrogen tank small. This should be called hydrogen tank large, and the small should be the size of a cargo container. My god, these things are so annoying to build around. We'll slap that on there. Now I want this thing to be able to take off and land with full cargo. So we're going to need a lot of thrust downwards. Now these thrusters do have a large connector on the bottom, so you can do it directly through there. But also you can see it's got small connectors on the side. So if we drop this down here and here, there is the small connectors for this conveyor junction. Let me just go and get some more materials here. Oh god. Let's go grab a bunch of stuff I need to make small conveyor junctions, and it should be enough to build a large one. If I weld this one up here right now, just to... Oh, I need small steel tubes. Damn it. I need stuff. Give me those small steel tubes. Bam. 148 of them. I have tons of stuff right now. I got so much minerals that need to be processed, and I've got so many components already pre-made because I knew I was going to be building a bunch of stuff, so I'm like, let's just get that already. But now, there is going to be a connector there and a small connector there, so we can do a little junction and weld it up. And now, this large thruster on the bottom, even though the large connector isn't there, that large thruster will work. So, it's good stuff for me. And why am I getting, like, combat music? Please don't. I don't want to fight anything right now. Put a couple resources into the rest of this stuff. Just because I can. We're going to have to take several trips to get this all welded up. Beyond that, we've got those two larges pointing down. That should be more than enough lift to get us up off the ground. We need some battery, which we're going to slap into the side here. Boom. And boom, right there. We're going to put a large thruster on the back. That'll give us all of our forward thrust we need. And since these things have small conveyors all around them, we're going to put small thrusters all around it so that we get a little bit of thrust in every direction. We only really need the big thrust in the forward and the downwards, as that is going to be the important ones when we are trying to break orbit and trying to you know, stay aloft in atmosphere, as this will take a fair amount of thrust when fully loaded with ice. Also, we've got a small one on the front of the ship there, and there should be, if I did this correctly, one there, and yeah, so that'll give me 3 small ones to stop the ship, which should be enough, I hope. I want it to be. I want it to be enough. I don't want to put any more thrusters on this. But 2 batteries, 3 smalls. We got the H2O2 generator. We got the thing that's connecting everything up. We got the 2 pointing downwards, but we also have space to put more pointing downwards, and we got to slap that one in there so that that is all connected up, and I need more components, but we'll get those in a moment. We've also got the ability to put more downwards because there's some more connectors on here. But I think for now, this is sort of the base design of this ship. It could be expanded out if I wanted to make this longer and add another tank, but I don't think I need to. So I think the next thing is to figure out where we're going to put the connector to connect this to the base. And on the bottom of the cockpit, there's a large one there. It could fit there, or it could actually go on one of the sides here. Realistically, what I'd like this ship to be is like entirely independent, and in the future updates, there's going to have the my brain is not functioning. It's going to be the hydrogen generator, which is going to run on hydrogen gas. So if we slap a hydrogen generator on this in the future, it's going to have all of the stuff it needs to just be functional wherever it is forever, as it would be able to do that. I could put it on top of here or something like that. I could put the hydrogen generator right here, and then the ship can build power as long as it has ice. Along with that, what I think we should do is we've got drills, so we should put a drill on this. I'm done with batteries for now. We can have, at some point, we should put a drill pointing downwards, and then we should take this thing over to the lake. Is there one? I can't remember. There's one on the back of this, right? Yeah. So we can actually place a drill like right there on the bottom of the tank. I think that'll work. And then we can just fly over to the lake and just drill out ice as we're flying and just refill the ship as we're flying along and just be silly about it, which would be awesome. But for now, I'm going to get this thing welded up. We're going to slap a connector on one of the side ones, and we're going to go plug it into the base so they can get its initial charge to its batteries. Thankfully, the batteries won't be taking too much of a draw because it only has to really run the H2O2, as these will be using hydrogen for their fuel and not atmospheric thrusters, which would take pure energy. So it should run a lot longer on its power compared to the atmospheric ships. But let us go get this all welded up, and I will be back when it is all done. Alright, everything's pretty much prepared, and you may look at this and say, like, what? Nothing's welded up. You didn't do anything. There's actually a nice thing you can do. And you can see everything has its components. It's all ready to weld. If you have the components for something and you right-click on it instead of left-clicking, it'll just deposit all of the components onto the thing ready to weld. So now, I'll just preemptively grab some ice here, because I'll need it in the bit once I've got the thing welded. now that it doesn't need any new components, I can just grab the welding ship, which probably already has a bunch of stuff on it anyway, as I don't think I cleaned it out. Yeah, it does have a bunch of stuff on it. Let me take a little bit of that weight off so we're not having to fly with it. And we can just fly over there and just weld it up easy peasy without having to use any of the components from the welder ship. It's just all ready to go. Let's get this thing welded. Oh yeah, that's it. Weld, baby, weld. One ship building another ship. They're replicating. Oh, this is awesome. Should just take me another 30 seconds or so and I can have this ship all done. Let's come over here. Get both activated. That's it. Let's get the one on top here. I think we're only going to be able to get one welder close to it. And done. Very good. And get this batteries welded up. I think the key thing I want to do with this ship first is I want to get out into space and I want to just get straight up from my base. I want to figure out where, like, because there's space is oh God, what? I can't remember how many kilometers up, but I just want to get that many kilometers up, figure out where in space is directly over my base, put a GPS marker there so that I can find it again in the future, and I can know that if I just go there and re-enter, I'll be at the base, and then go out and explore, try to find some asteroids with fun stuff on them, as I could if I wanted to and I needed to. I could take this little front one off there and add a drill to the front of this, and then I would have a little drill rig out in space. I could bring home some great stuff. Probably allow me to build the next set of equipment, as I only have the scarce resources here. Alright, that's all good. Well, this thing's got, what? Hours of flight time. Let me just leave it hovering there for a second. I want to see how this thing is doing. Alright, 27 days of power. Let's get some hydrogen into this thing. Oh, gyroscope didn't get built. That's not a good thing. We need the gyroscope to work. There we go. Alright. So let's access the cargo. Let's drop in this ice. And that is taken into the O2 generator. And then all of our little guys here are going to start booting up. Oh, I need construction components. I missed something. Give me your construction components, little welder ship. I knew I kept you around for a reason. You're going to boot up this one? Boot up. Do it. You should be all connected and happy. Ah, there it is. It just required me to get in. Okay, bad part about having your hydrogen engines on all the time is they eat your hydrogen while you're just passively sitting there. Because you'll see the little plume. It's just like a pilot light. Ever so slowly, it's going to eat up all my power, all my hydrogen. So what I need to do is I need to make groups for my batteries so I can set them to recharge. This is going to be hydrogen batteries. We're going to set the groups. We got hydrogen batteries, toggle recharge on off, We're going to have the connector, and we're also going to have thrusters toggle on off. So for now, we're going to toggle off the thrusters, as we don't want them to use any power and use any hydrogen as we're sitting here. And we need to put a connector onto one of these sides. So let's drop all this stuff from here. Let's get a connector. And let's slap it down. Do I have enough stuff to build it? I need some computers. Yep, 2 computers. Alright, let's go get those. Just grab everything we need to build a whole connector. Might as well. It's the fast way of doing it. Oh, what am I doing? I got this thing here. So much faster. Alright, there we go. So we got a connector. And if I remember correctly, it's battery connector for how I do it for 9 and 8. So battery, then we'll go into here and go connector, set it to switch lock. And now this thing is basically ready to take off. It's going to have more than enough thrust downwards in order to do this, but we need to turn our thrusters on. We need to cut it off from here. It's hovering. We need to get this off quickly, get into the ship quickly, and we need to get over and buckle this thing in. Oh my god, these things are powerful. This one hydrogen thruster in the back is like really pushing me hard. Like, holy crap, that's amazing. But you can see the power, even though these are just built batteries, 6 hours of power. So not really that concerned about the electricity on this ship. But we'll hover in here, connect up. There we go. A little bit of a awkward side connection there. But we can make the lock. We can turn off our hydrogen thrusters. We can turn on our batteries so that we can start filling them up. And once they're full, that's probably all of the that this ship is going to need for a very long time, because if a freshly built battery with only, like, what was that? Let's go take a look. Open up the key menu. A freshly built battery that's hardly even got any in it, only had like 300 kilowatts, was going to last for hours. So that's significant. Where this guy, which has essentially full batteries, and he has 3 of them, is going to last for only 2 hours, as he's just drawing so much more power because of his high, atmospheric thrusters. And we'll go and park this guy back where he should be. We'll take him and put him on the far left one, so he's got... Oh, don't want to crash into the base. Got a little bit of extra space between him and the other ship. As this area is... That's only really a temporary connection. Connect up, recharge, just because I can. I'll leave this guy off recharge. I'm really scared about this guy being on recharge, because if I lose power on the base for some reason, or if I disconnect the connectors for any reason, then he's just going to fall to the ground, and I'm going to take a lot of damage on him, and I don't want that to happen. So if I leave him off recharge, he'll just hover, and I'll notice eventually that he's hovering, and then I'll come out and get him and reset him. So there we go. So this guy is getting all charged up. I think I need an antenna on this thing so that I can see where he is from up in the sky. Oop, grab that. As I don't want to lose this guy. I really, really don't. So let's go an antenna there. Or, yeah, we'll do it this way. That looks better. And we'll also put a ore detector on this guy as well. And thankfully these are right here, and it allows me to, not enough detector components. Ooh, can I make detector components right now? Oh, why do I have so many things queued up? I do not know. Let us see. Small block. Can you make me everything I need for a detector? Yep, it should be able to be done. Excellent. Very good. Small thing. Detector. Or detector. Slap it on there. And now, we've got a hydrogen scoutcraft. I'm so excited. Although we really need to fuel this thing with hydrogen, as it has practically none right now. So that's where the drills are going to come in. Drill, drill, drill. Where am I going to put you? I think right at the tank right there should work. It should. I'm not sure if it will, but it should. And then I can just fly over to the ice and cut some ice out and get some hydrogen. I can even slap a couple more on here right now. Need some more stuff. There we go. And that'll just allow me to fill up the storage containers and also see how this thing performs while it's heavily loaded, of whether or not I need additional downwards thrust, which I could easily get because all I'd have to do is just slap a additional downwards thrust on either here or right there, put another conveyor junction in the middle there, and I could put one right there. I could put it, I could easily put like 4 of them on the bottom if I needed to. So should be more than enough thrust. All right. I kind of want to go test these drills out right now, as we've got a couple bars on the battery. I think that'll probably be enough. We're going to take it off recharge. We're going to turn on our thrusters. We have to remember to do that before we unlock, otherwise the ship is just going to fall. We're going to check our inventory here, as I want to see how much ice we have at our current local generator. Okay, we have plenty in our local H2 generator. So let us detach and move away and head on over to the ice. Oh my god, this thing's so responsive. This is amazing. Look how fast this thing gets up to speed. I'm over 100 kph already. Or no, I'm not. I can't. 100 kph. 100 meters per second, which in kilometers per second is like 300 something. So that is ridiculous how fast this ship can go. Plus, it looks like we might need a couple more thrusters pointing downwards. Just maybe. One there in that center cargo and one there on the top of the hydrogen tank would probably do it. Got our little hole here where we're mining out our ice. We already have 10 hours of power. Ha! This is ridiculous. Hell yeah. Take a look at the ice we're accumulating. We're eating a little bit, sort of a couple kilos per second kind of feel. But we're getting thousands of kilos as we just gobble up the ice. And for these drills, after I'm done getting ice for them, I don't need to take them off. Well, I'll take them off, but then I'll put their materials in the storage containers such that up in space, I could put them back on and mine more stuff with them, which would be awesome. Oh yeah, so much ice. This is great. See how much we're doing here. I'm looking for... Ooh, we got one cargo container full. Okay, I want to see what this thing... It's still got plenty of lift. Okay, so that's good. I want to see how this thing performs when it's absolutely full. So we're going to keep going here. We've got... Because this thing isn't full. 40,000. We need to get 90,000 in there. We'll go until it starts putting ice in the cockpit, essentially. Oh, yeah. Alright, there we go. Ice is getting put in the cockpit, so we'll grab a tiny bit more, and then we'll lift off. Alright. That's this thing. We'll get rid of these drills as we don't need them anymore. Oh, that one was holding the other one up. And we have our hydrogen ship hovering away. I've even got a little bit of space here. I could probably put something in this space where this hydrogen thruster is if I wanted to. I could even put a large hydrogen thruster there if I wanted to. Because I've got this little spot here to connect to it. Oh, but I want to take this connector off anyway. I'll do that after I get this thing fully charged. But let's take a look. How much is this eating per second here? So if I wait until exactly at 700 here and then just say count to 5 or something. Sort of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 kilos per second. So I should be able to figure it out if I've got this many kilos. Let's add this all up. Let's figure out what our flight time is essentially with this ship when it's fully loaded with ice. So we get 91. Well, let's see here. I gotta clear my calendar. 91.2 thousand there. That's times 2. Then we've got another, say 25-ish in the actual generator. So that gives us 207,000. Divide by every second we take up 5, so we get 41,000 seconds. We divide that by 60. It equals 691 minutes. Equals 11 hours of flight time when this thing is fully stocked up. 11 hours of flight time. And we've got 10 hours of electricity. So this thing could just sit here and hover for 10 hours. That is insane. I'm honestly contemplating just having like pure hydrogen chips from now on. If they can do this, this is amazing. Without that 10 times, this ship would only be able to stay in the air for an hour. And it would be just eating ice. You'd have to constantly be refilling it. But now, I have the ability to fill it up, and then it can serve as an exploration ship for several in-game days without having to be refilled. We'll just park it back in here, as it is nice and wonderfully full, and just needs a little bit more power. There we go. We will lock it, turn our batteries to recharge, turn off our thrusters, and it is ready to do some awesome stuff in the next episode, of course, as it is not completely ready yet. But I think what we should do is we should stock it up with a little bit of emergency supplies. So I do have a little bit of space here in the cockpit. Can I get all this stuff in? Yes, I can. Great. So that is enough stuff to build 3 drills. So that means I can put a drill in the front of this, and I have 2 replacements in case it breaks. I can also think what would probably be a good idea is to go and get the stuff I need for a few hydrogen thrusters and put them... Oh, needs a lot. Maybe that won't work. Maybe it's too much, but it's just basically some repair stuff so that if I ever need to, when I'm out flying up in space, I break a thruster, I've got enough to repair it and get things put back together I'm also going to slap that in there just because I can. There we go. But yeah, let's get a couple more thrusters here. One on the top there, one on the top there. I could even have more on the top if I needed to, if I move those guys around. I don't think I need to. It's probably fine. The amount of thrust it's got. Grab a few more hydrogen thrusters. And this ship is ready to explore the galaxy. Because what I really want to do when I build my eventual combat ship is I need to get... Oh, I need to add those to the freaking thing. Hydrogen thrusters. So let's grab hydrogen thrust. There we go. All these things need to be put into a group. I can't spell. Whatever. I need to do something real quick here. Let us turn our batteries off that, turn our thrusters back on. Let's detach for a quick second just so I can have only the things that are on this ship. We need to grab those two that are down. We need to save them into the thrusters. And I'll add the hydrogen before it so I can identify it a little bit better and delete the old thrusters group. And then we'll replace that. Just so much little things here to do. There we go. Alright. Because if we can get out into space, we can get some gold, and we can get some silver, and I don't know if we need platinum for it, but I want to build a shield generator. I want to build shield components. Let's go take a look. Production. Parts. I'm gonna find the shield one. Because if we can make shields, then we can start going into some good combat without having to worry about our ship falling apart. Also, some platinum, although we have a little bit of uranium. We could theoretically make some of these homing missiles, but it would be a waste of our uranium, I think. Detector. Where's my shield components? They're somewhere in here. Oh well. We need to build shields. That'll be for the future. But for now, we build a hydrogen ship, and I feel good about it. So we're going to leave it there for this episode, as it is probably dragged on long enough. Next episode, we're going to space. We're going exploring and looking for stuff. And hopefully not getting into any trouble, because I don't think this ship could survive any trouble. It is almost explosive, considering the fact that its batteries and hydrogen tanks are exposed right beside each other. Let's just hope we can get a little bit of resources from space and then make it back in one piece. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting.